man. Back to you. Sorry.
Yeah, like sure. We need to discuss the fall off from PFA Player of the Year to stinking up the place.
Your obsession knows no bounds. You're just like a Gal 2.0.
It's only Arsenal fans as well. It's only Arsenal fans who have this problem.
Hey. Why is it a problem to discuss a player's bad form? I don't understand.
It's not a problem, but when it's not even a top 3 issue, then it becomes blatantly an intellectually dishonest starting point.
I
will traverse this path with you, but I already know that this isn't going to be a genuine debate because you have a preconceived notion of what your end point is. So we can do this song and dance, and I can tell you exactly why you're wrong. We can have a lovely time about that. But your starting point is false because again, there are so many other issues at City which actually matter.
Nubbins, what am I wrong about? Is Phil Foden performing at the level he was performing last season?
No.
So what am I wrong about that I've said so far?
The fact that we weren't even going to bring him up, the fact that you put it in the private chat to alert Terry to the fact that we should be talking about this, the fact that it got ignored and you still wanted to make a song and dance about it tells me that this is not an honest starting point. You have a bias, you have a prejudice to this player. So once again, it is a futile endeavor. So the fact is you are trying to frame it as the biggest issue. And if it was the biggest issue, I would be the first person to say Phil should be benched because I'm not a Phil Foden fan. I could care less about Foden's performances. I'm a Manchester City fan. You spent
5 minutes defending him, but you care less about Foden's performance.
No, what I'm doing is I'm trying to direct you to the actual issues at City.
No, but I'm asking you a question, and you're trying to direct me to ask you a different question. Does that ever make sense?
I told you that we can do this, but I'm just letting you know. I'm letting the panel know. I'm letting the chats know.
We don't need this isn't an
discussion.
honest discussion.
We can do this little media argument about Philip Foden.
This isn't an honest discussion, so I don't really know what the point is. We can do it. But again, if you're watching that game against Liverpool, if you're watching any other game this season and your first thought is, why aren't we talking about Foden? That just tells me that your starting point is flawed.
Nobbins.
I'm not going to lie. I wanted to talk about Liverpool and why
so do I, but quickly, in response, hold on, Steph. In response to Nobbins said, like, Nobbins, if someone wins PFA Player of the Year last season, the spotlight's on him, right? The drop-off of his form last season to this season has been massive. So why shouldn't we talk about it? Because we were praising him all last season when he was hitting the heights. He's not hitting the heights now. Why can't I address it? Why can't I? Because there's 8 other issues with
City. That's not what I said, Conley. That's not what I said.
I want to discuss the Foden issue, and you don't want to. That's the issue.
I can discuss it. My main issue is I know why you want to discuss it. The problem is, the exact wording there, the Foden issue. That is objectively incorrect in itself. Because it isn't a Foden issue. But Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Kovacic, whoever, these lads have not forgotten how to pass a football, right? And yet, at Anfield, they could not pass a football. So one of two things is happening here. Either, overnight, essentially, all of City's players have turned to shit, unlikely, or there is a wider issue at play, and it is actually the framework and the structure of City, which is inherently flawed. Which do you think is more likely, Conley? The former or the latter?
I don't know, man. I don't have
Nobbins, can I give Conley the answer that he wants from you, if that's okay?
Sure.
Yes, I just want an explanation.
No. Yes, Conley, Saka is better than Foden. There we go.
Oh, no. That's
what you wanted.
That's what
you wanted.
We know what it is.
That's silly.
And you're probably right now.
Indeed.
Before the end of the show, we have to spend a bit of time talking about Liverpool.
Yay!
I'd like a question to begin with, Tom. We did spend an hour and a half talking about them yesterday after the game. So it's not like the Terrace has done no time on them. Plus, my 2 videos today were predominantly about Liverpool. But are you now the clear favourites in your opinion with how brilliant you look, the lead at the top of the league, the manager who's won trophies before, the club structure, and a squad full of world-class players? You must be looking at the way you're playing and everything else I just mentioned, thinking the title's ours to
say
lose.
It, Tom. Say it. Say your favourites. Come on, you know you want to.
I so don't want to, but you know, we are the favourite. I'm not going to say we're going to win the league. I've made that clear that I need to get past a couple of games in my mind for that. But we're definitely the favourites at this point. You know, a 9-point gap we didn't even have this big a gap at this point when we actually won the title. So we're in a very, very strong position. If we fail to win the title at this point, I'll be massively, massively, massively disappointed. In my mind, I want to get through. Obviously, we've got a big week coming up against Newcastle and Everton. Then, superstitiously, I want to beat Leicester at home on Boxing Day, and I want to beat United at home in January, because the year that we won the title,
That's a month from now. Don't worry about us.
No, the reason I want to do that is because the year we won the title, those two were the big games that made everyone believe. So I want to do it again this time, so we can just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's superstition in me. Realistically, we got to get through this month. We got to get through this month. You know, we're really hit by injuries at the minute. You know, we've only got 5 fit defenders. 1 left back, 1 right back, 3 centre backs, and one of them centre backs is going to have to do a job everywhere on the pitch. Knowing our luck with Gomez, but we've got a lot of confidence in the team at the minute. You know, Mohamed Salah's performing like the best player in the world. Virgil van Dijk is marshalling the back line. The midfield 4-5 options that we got, fantastic. The attack, I mean, we've made Nunes look like a decent striker. I didn't think that was possible. You know, we've got Diaz and Gakpo linking up well together. It's just a very, very positive time at the football club, and all credit goes to Arne Slot for this, because not even the most mental Liverpool fan could have seen this coming when he was appointed. No one would have foreseen this. I mean, in his first season, he's beaten Man City, Real Madrid, Man United, Chelsea, Bayer Leverkusen, and he's got a draw away at Arsenal, which we didn't even do last year. He's broken pretty much every record that any new Liverpool manager had. Is now Arne Slot's. We're going well in the Champions League, and yesterday was probably the best performance we've ever had against City in the Pep era, in terms of just a domination of them. Like, for the first half an hour, you would have been forgiven for thinking City were, I don't know, Southampton or something. Yeah. We didn't let them out. We didn't let them do anything. We should, as Norman said, we should have had more than one. Oh my God, some of the chances
had 4,
that we missed.
I reckon. Genuinely 4.
Some of the chances that we missed. I mean, for how strong he is in the air, Virgil van Dijk isn't half inconsistent in front of goal. It's mental to me, but you know, we move on. We focus on Newcastle midweek, getting through these games now. And
is that home or away?
Both Newcastle and Everton are away.
Okay, I mean,
we've only got 2 home games this month, so all of them are away.
I want to ask you a question, Tom, and it won't be agenda driven, I promise. Number one, I appreciate the fact that you could say confidently that you are the favorites right now, because anyone with a brain would say the same with the form that you're in. You didn't make no weird animal analogies about leopards and tigers and cheetahs, so I do appreciate that. But I want to ask you something that it's a bit negative, so it might bother you a little bit. You spoke about Mo Salah, and I get accused a lot of not defending my countryman. I mean, it's been obvious. He just plays for Liverpool and he cooks me every season, so I can't really defend him.
It's like trauma, isn't it?
Yeah, but I got to speak about him right now, because yesterday he broke another record, by the way. He now has the most goals and assists in a game in the Premier League history. That was previously held by Rooney. He had 35 games where he where he scored and assisted in the same game. Salah now broke that, and he's at 36. He's broken a few records this season. Yeah, there's news coming out today that if he gets an extension, is going to be 1 year. I'll say it for you, because you guys don't want to say it. Mohamed Salah is Mohamed Salah is the best player in Liverpool history, in their Premier League era for sure. But I think for the numbers that he's put over the last, 8 or 9 years, this guy's the best player you've ever had. He's taken you to success that you didn't taste for about 30 years. If this guy, and I'm sorry to make it like this, if this guy was a homeboy from Liverpool, he'd be getting talked about a lot different. He would literally be in the GOAT conversations. If his name was Steven Gerrard with these numbers and these trophies, he would be talked about being the GOAT of the Premier League. They would be comparing him not to the best player in their club history. They'd be comparing him to Thierry Henry, if not better than Thierry Henry. And then he's I'm not gonna lie, I feel like he's just working for a contract at this point. He just changed his profile picture on Twitter from the celebration that he had yesterday. He's coming out in press conferences and interviews talking about how he wants a contract. And the way that they're treating him, bro, I'm not going to lie. for him to do all he did for Liverpool over the last 8-9 years, and he's being pushed out in the. It's looking like it, at least, that's being pushed out of the club the way he did.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, it's nothing short of disgraceful. If he was from the city and if he wasn't an Egyptian that just came to the city about 9 years ago, they would have never done that to him.
Right.
I just want your honest opinion on that, if I'm being honest here.
I don't disagree on the Salah legacy point. I've always been one of the ones who's quite happy to speak on it, and I made it very clear that Gerrard and Salah's legacy is different for different reasons. But if Salah was to add a Premier League title this year, I'd put him ahead of Gerrard in terms, because it's twice. It's consistency. It's getting us over the line multiple times for the one thing that we hadn't had. Regarding his contract, I think it's a mixture of. I don't think it's as bad as it's being made out. I think this is a lot of media circus on both sides. I do think it should have been sorted before this, and it's down to how poorly ran the football club was for a couple of years to get it to this point where we've got 3 players.
How much worse can it be than that, though, Tom? How much worse can it be than leaving it till this long? That's bad enough, no?
I mean, worse would be him going. He's not gone yet.
Of course, but he's running down his contract right now. You guys have offered him nothing. I don't know how.
I mean, if you want him worse would be the situation Trent's in, where Salah wants to stay. Doesn't look like Trent wants to stay. So at least with Salah, I know that he loves football. But then you
wouldn't be expecting the contract to be offered if he wanted to leave, and Mo Salah wouldn't be. The fact that Mo Salah's talking about it and essentially saying, "I want to be here," they're just not offering me the right time or the right amount of money. I do think it's crazy, man, and it's a weird thing. I get why a lot of Liverpool fans. I saw James Redmond say it. I know that. I've seen a lot of saying, please don't talk about it, Mo, because I know that you guys don't want any negativity to overshadow how brilliantly you're playing right now. But there are some fans that are going to look at this, and a lot of football fans look beyond the end of the season they're in, and I just don't see you replacing him. He's so good. The likelihood of his replacement being as good or better is so low that it's almost you need to try to squeeze every bit of quality out of this man, because once he's gone, he's gone. You know, it's conceivable that Man United never get a right winger anywhere near Ronaldo's level again in my lifetime. Considering we've only ever had him and Best at that level in 140 years, it's not inconceivable to go another 70 years without a player of that level, right? And Mo Salah's that for you. You may never get a player as good as this again. I feel like you guys are making such... I'm happy you're making it if he leaves. Because if him and Trent and VVD was to leave...
It's really... not just that, Terry. It's not just
supposed to retire at Liverpool. Let's be honest. He's supposed to retire.
Yeah, bro. Listen, he loves it there, and I hate it because it looks like he just wants to stay there as long as he could kick a ball and he could run. So I hate that because I look at him, and I mean, it's not hard to be remembered because he takes his jersey off every time he gets a chance to. You can see that he's fitter than a 22, 23-year-old. So it's not looking like he's slowing anytime soon. But last year, if you would have sold him, I would have understood, because I think, was it last season or the season before? I think it was season before. Sorry. You got offered ridiculous money from Saudi Arabia. They were just going through a crazy overhaul, buying everyone to promote their league. They were offering insane wages that would have been life-changing for him for generations to come. And you would have made a proper rebuild out of it. So I would have understood if you spoke to them and said, listen, Salah, you've done all this for us, but we cannot turn down 200 million that will benefit the future of this club. It's best that we part ways here. He will be potentially leaving on a free. So it's not like economically it even makes sense for you. The only reason people are saying that he might leave is because of the wages he will be demanding versus how many years he has left. So the argument is that we're looking for the next Salah. Why can't you keep Salah while looking for the next Salah? You keep him, by the way. You get Omar Marmoush from the German league right away because he wants to play with
I know we've been in the situation before with Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah knows the fans adore him, and him and his agents are very smart, and they know how to use the media circus. I mean, the story today that come out, he's willing to accept a 1-year deal, but the club haven't done that yet. But when you actually dive into it, the guy who wrote the article is the same guy who's just wrote his autobiography. So there's already a connection there in this, and I've been in the situation before with other players like Henderson doing the same thing. I think it'll get sorted. I've maintained all season. I think Van Dijk and Salah sign on, but Trent leaves. And my feeling hasn't really changed. I'd be disappointed if Trent went. To be honest, no, I'd be livid with him if he went. He'd be dead to me. He'd be the worst one of the lot. But it is also kind of like He would be worse than McManaman, worse than I would.
No, I do get it. I remember McManaman's one. Just in interest of time, guys, because I've got a taxi coming, so I need to just get these super chats done here. It says, why is there a weird desperation to crown Liverpool champions 13 games in? Why do these delusional Liverpool fans want pressure? 25 games to go. I don't think it's about that. I think it's around honest conversations and who are the favourites from this point. Doesn't mean, I said it yesterday, this idea that there's no pressure on Arsenal from this point, no pressure on City from this point to get better, is ridiculous. There's massive pressure on all of the clubs. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, you can. Yes, sorry. Yes, you got incredibly lucky last season. Spurs basically gave you the trophy, a flying karate kick. Liverpool not given a penalty for. I come in peace. Old Kate, be looking hella dangerous and hella sexy is what's been said here. Jesus Christ. The red lipsticks proves that London is red and London looks proper on you, girl. Come on, you.
Get off your burner, Jim.
Her husband's also super chatted saying Nobbins, Kate just told me you're a good guy and told me off for my last super chat, but I stick by my stick to being humble. It's better. Congrats. Oh yeah, because he called you a posh boy last time.
Yeah, he did. I texted him and told him off. I said, "Don't you be rude to Nobbins. He's lovely."
Oh, you got put in the doghouse. You got put in the doghouse
because of you, Nobbs.
Yeah, look at that. Now, listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into the show today. Please hit the like and share button.